Rise and Shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Chatting with the speakers and artists at the Christian Media and Arts Connect conference. It's Rise and Shine on Vision.
And by 11:30 latest.
At the latest. Done before that. I promise.
Oh, good. Oh,
You don't need the headphones on if you don't want to. It's up to you. If you want to hear yourself, you can. If you don't, you don't want to.
I'll join you in the
Okay.
experience. Oh,
So you can. Yeah.
oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of fun. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Well, what can I say? We have saved the best to last.
Oh,
I
I don't know if you want that in there. But...
No, I do. That's great.
Oh, no.
Save the best for last. We have got the lovely SVRCINA, a.k.a. Molly SVRCINA, a.k.a. good friend to Vision and all things, that we do. Molly, so good to see you again.
DJ, it's great to see you.
And I always do the same thing because, I know you're very busy. All music artists are very busy, traveling the world, doing different things. And when I see you in the foyer there, I come up and I introduce myself again and I say, and you very sincerely go, no, I know who you are. It's DJ from Vision. You're very sweet.
Oh, my Lord.
But I think the shirt gave it away.
I did recognize the shirt. Those flowers are striking.
Yeah. I've now got a brand. That I have to,
you gotta
do. Yeah.
keep with it.
Yeah. I'll stick it out there.
It's fabulous.
1,200 beats per minute.
Oh, my goodness.
Can I say, as a SVRCINA fan, I think it's my favourite project that you've done.
Really?
Yeah, but it's very different.
It is very different.
It's very different, and it's very different on a few different things. Production side of it, you've obviously gone, I'm jumping into a little bit of a different space.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't looked at anything behind the scenes, but are you working with new producers? How's the sound change?
Sure. There is some spillover from the Orchards album that I released. There's a producer, Adam Griffith, that actually his thumbprint has probably the most on the tracks. But there is definitely a variety. And I will say there is a bit more of a mix of from the US, either Nashville, LA, and then Europe. Mm-hmm. There's a couple guys. I went to Germany in 2022 for a project, and I was kind of experimenting. And there's one track called Details from their production team called Hit Impulse that is based in Berlin. Okay. So they did a track, and then there's a song called Hummingbird that I worked.
Love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so I worked with that with a couple people in LA, and then sat with it for a while. It was kind of in a demo, we wrote it over like a production loop. So it was kind of like synth keys and the tempo was slower. And so just sitting with the whole project and kind of piecing the puzzle together. I had heard a remix from an artist that I love, his Michael J. Woodard. He's an independent artist. He did like American Idol, but R&B vibe that just is chef's kiss. He's fabulous. So I heard a remix that somebody did that was like unreleased, and it ended up being a young kid in his 20s from Finland. So after a couple months of sitting with the song Hummingbird, I was like, you know what? I screen recorded that remix because I was like, this is amazing. So I just reached out to him on Instagram and I was like, what would you be up for taking a listen to the song and see if you'd be interested in producing the track? So there's definitely, it's a cool combination. So there's a little bit, he's from Finland, there's Germany. There's a duet that I did called Million Miles with a young guy. His name is Mugishu.
Yes.
Artist producer. He's originally from the Congo and his family were refugees. And they moved to Norway. Wow. So he grew up in Norway and just one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. And he produced the track. So there's a cool blend for sure.
Yeah, so as an independent artist, and this is one of the things why we're, your biggest champions, we love the fact that you're doing this all yourself. And am I hearing it that it's you and you alone who are going, I'm picking the producers, I'm picking the remixes, I'm picking the people that I want to work with, I want to collab with this person. There's no label or management going, you have to work with this person or this is the next thing or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely largely me as far as like overseeing the vision of the project. I've been working with my manager for 10 years. This year marks 10 years, which is really special. Awesome. Her name is Wendy. And I would say this was like the most and probably most in sync that we've been working on this project hand in hand. And so I released Orchards, the previous project, in 2021.
Yes.
And I moved to LA in 2021.
Yeah, we still think that's insane, but God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a journey. The Lord is our sustainer for sure in the place.
Yeah.
And so when I moved, my manager was pretty much like, you know what, why don't you just take a little bit of the pressure off of feeling like you have to release as much music, just like meet people, write, and let's see, what does this season of life sound like? And right before I moved, I kind of already had like a directive. I really felt like God was saying it's time to write celebration songs. And that had also been a process of figuring out like, what does that mean?
Yes.
So that being said, walking closely hand in hand with my manager, Wendy, we got in the studio, listened to a whole batch of music, and then just kind of like objectively picked out, okay, these feel like the strongest songs, and there may be some good songs here, but can we dig a little bit deeper and refine and make good songs better? Which I really am grateful for the space to be able to do that.
Well, I hear a real cohesiveness. Now, this is not a backhanded compliment to say that other projects weren't. You know what I mean?
Of course. No,
but
I hear
sometimes independent artists, you can feel that like, I'm grabbing this from here, I'm cobbling this together as best as I can. But this one feels like you say, it's a celebration. There's a vision behind this musically. And then I listen to the lyrics, and I've got to. I think a lot of the lyrics. Now, tell me if I'm wrong here.
Sure.
There's a lot of in love lyrics in here. There's a lot of love.
There's a lot of love.
Now, so I'm gonna
fair summary.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pry a little bit deeper here and go. Okay. Is there a mister that we're writing about with the love stuff here?
You know, it is definitely interesting. That department has been outwardly pretty quiet, and has had a lot of question marks from the Lord.
Yes,
for sure. So there is not a fella in particular that it's about. So
this is pre-fella music to sing when you finally find the fella.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. Which has also been an interesting thing, I will say, that's been like a little bit painful at times, but not in a bad way. It's just been like a stretch of writing about something that I haven't yet experienced, but also feeling like God's giving the green light to go there.
Yeah.
And in faith, just... I mean, I guess at this point, there's no need to wonder how I'll feel, I guess, when the right one comes along. I will be a big fan for sure.
Fellas around Australia, you've heard the call. We're taking application. No, I'm joking.
Exactly.
So my next question on the back of that, and again, I'm being sincere. My wife and I have been bagging your album, since it came out. We love it. But my lovely wife, Benita, who had to go to work, but she is so brokenhearted because she had like 10 questions she wanted to ask. Okay. So, she was going to jump in. But the other question I've got, as a Christian artist, someone who's, and again, behind the scenes, and I don't want to, pull back anything or reveal anything that I shouldn't. You're one of the most deeply spiritual people that when I see perform or talk to, or I watch your activity outside of the SVRCINA brand, of music out there, you're singing worship here, you worship there. When you talk about what you're doing, and even just what we've heard, you moving and talking about love and everything like that. God is part of all of this journey, and you're very open about that. Yeah. Then we get this project where, there's not a lot of God,
right,
in the lyrics,
right,
type of thing. It's a lot of love, and again, I think we Christians don't do a great job of owning the space of relationship on albums. I think I'm always championing Christians to write about good relationships and celebrating love like the Bible does.
Yeah.
Because it seems like sometimes, we'll sing about Jesus over here, but we'll let the world tell us how the relationships work and love feels and all this type of stuff. Has that been an interesting tightrope walk going, okay, I'm releasing an album of love songs and talking about love, but my Christian fans might go, well, hang on, where's the Jesus quota here? How does this work?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like by this time, with a lot of the music that I've released, it's kind of swung to the other end of the pendulum where it's been talking about more heavy things in life. And even for stuff with licensing, it's like dark cinematic vibe. So I'm like, not necessarily talking about God specifically is not like a foreign thing with my music. So it's a totally different season of life that it's talking about. And I do feel like it seems like as I'm going along and the more music I create, it feels like my music is very seasonal as far as like different spaces in life, whether that's a season of, because I remember when I was creating Orchards, before I really started the process, I felt like God said it's time to come into a place of maturity. And what that actually looked like in my personal life and what he was doing a deep work in my heart with all of that was definitely interesting. So, but to your point, I know that with kind of in the Christian space, it can be like a weird thing to talk about, but it's still a part of everybody's life. So it's like, why would we not? And I do feel like there are more artists that are doing a great job. If like Tori Kelly is out there singing the songs and doing a beautiful job, and she loves the Lord and also does worship. There's other independent artists that touch on both the happy relationships and like breakup songs and all the things, and it's just a part of life. So
do you feel the industry's changing to accept that, or do you not even care now? Do you go again as an independent person who's working with the same manager forever and you're in lockstep together, and that's great, and I see a team around you here in Australia and fans and everything like that you have, do you not even in your mind now you go, you know what, I don't care about Christian radio airplay, I don't care about the Christian charts or anything like that because they want me to perform a certain thing? Do you go, no, I'm just going to do what God has called me to do and let that be that? Because I know I speak to other young artists and they're really worried about writing that right formula, getting the formula right so that Christian radio will play them or they'll get that break. Is that not even on your spectrum anymore?
I mean, I guess there's like maybe an element of wanting to keep in mind of what could actually translate. Because, I mean, even with songs that translate recorded versus translating in a live setting is kind of its own thing too.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be a little bit different. Yep. But the biggest thing for me is definitely just obedience. And I do feel like God has helped kind of give a nugget here and there to help give a directive of what will translate. And then my manager has been really helpful too, just from a strategic standpoint, just to give advice of where things are at. And obviously like up-tempo stuff is better suited for radio too. So, and this project in particular is probably the most up-tempo that I've done as well. So, I think it's important to keep in mind the audience, as well as the highest priority being wanting to follow God and just obey.
And so am I hearing that you're so established now as, you've got a, core listener, you've got, who your fans are. You're out there meeting them, talking to them, spending time with them. So are you making music, outside of thinking I want to be obedient to God and make the best art that I can make that glorifies him and talks about what's on my heart with him? And how mindful are you of the audience that you've built up and listening to you? Do you think, is this going to work with them? Is this where they're at or anything like that? Is that a process in your head as well?
Yes, it is. And because I would say the dark cinematic stuff, it feels like its own lane. And it's been a little bit, it's been a while since I've released stuff in that space. So especially with like YouTube and some of the streaming services and people that follow my music because they liked a particular style.
Yep. Or they saw a film and saw your song or a TV show and they went, right, that's my song.
Yeah, exactly. So they fell in love with a particular vibe, and then I've got like a whole other project. It's like a completely different. So something that recently I just popped like a quick video on my YouTube channel just to like give people a heads up of like what's happening or like catch people up.
Warning.
To speed. What's coming down the pike. And just understanding that not everything that I do will be everybody's cup of tea. But yeah, like even for 2025, it's already been on my radar, and I've been writing this year kind of more in the dark cinematic space to kind of refresh, and like give the fans that like that style, and to release music for that angle as well. So
I love that. And I know we're running out of time. You've been so generous with your time here as per usual. I've got to say the same things I tell you every time. We're your biggest champions. We love your music. We pray for you all the time. And if there's anything that Vision can ever do for you, and the Vision family around Australia, you just reach out and let us know, because we're in your corner going, you can do it. You can do it.
You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for being so kind.
On behalf of all the team, we really, that's our sincere feeling. And you've given so much to Australia by coming out here as well, and investing into young people and investing into people, different artists and stuff around there. I saw you yesterday, at the time of this recording. Yesterday, you were part of a beautiful music panel speaking into the lives of young people. And it's the first time that the organisation has done anything like this. And I think there's some kinks we can work out. The organiser comes over to me and goes, I need an honest take of what you're that. And I said, I don't think you really want an honest take because I might be a bit harsh over here. I might be a bit harsh of what you've done over here. But out of everything that was done on stage, and, you know, you got to perform and everything, that blew everybody away. But what I saw afterwards was worth the price of admission. And that's where we need to concentrate, because the young fans were able to go straight to you and say, you know, even if it was just like, can I get a selfie? They've made their day. But there were young kids in there going, I want to be an artist. How do I do it? How do I do? You're talking about all these things. And I thought, man, this is where the gold is. This is what we need to capitalize on.
Sure.
That direct connection there with the young people.
It's so special.
So I'd love to wrap up with this, because I saw your heart in action there. Speak to the young person who wants to get into this space, the Christian young person who's like this. And you are someone who I really think in this era of music, you've sort of pioneered a new direction to go, I'll write music and be part of projects that that are secular projects. I'll put my voice to these different things that suit these, artistic projects. I'm going to be an artist first that glorifies God. Now, God is the reason why I do all of this, but I can make money this way. I can support myself as an independent artist. And people don't like talking about the money, but it's hard as an independent artist.
Yeah.
Talk about that. How did you work out that strategy? Did it just happen? Did the manager come along and say, this is what we've got to do? How do you get involved in all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really feel like there is so much opportunity in the music and creative space, and it's an exciting time to be an artist and a creative in the sense that social media and like technology with streaming platforms and all the things, it's made it very easy for artists to independently release music. That being said, within the last couple of years, there's a large volume of artists. So sometimes the struggle or the wrestle is like, how do we rise above to the top, if you will, for a lack of a better term. But there is space, and what I'm really excited, especially about like the Christian independent space, is there are these cool like genre niches that there's an opportunity to reach communities of people, because obviously music is subjective. So you've got these different genres of music that artists are just talking about life and also talking about God in these cool like genre like lanes. So a huge thing for my personal journey has really been taking steps of faith one at a time, and as God would open opportunities to go ahead and walk through them, learning wisdom too, and not necessarily saying yes to everything, but stepping through doors of opportunity and allowing God to lead you, and really having open hands for your journey to take shape into something that you may not even realize that you were interested in. Some of the like most wonderful opportunities were things that were not on my radar at all. Like when I met my manager when I was 18, I was literally on the cusp of almost quitting music altogether. And about a week
at the ripe old age of 18.
At the ripe age, yeah. I mean, I started. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I've been around the war. I've seen it all. 18, I'm out.
Me with my cane at 18. I'm like so old. Yeah, I mean, I started music so young, and so by the time I was 18, and I feel like that's probably a pressure that a lot of young people feel right now anyway, that they're not like.
They haven't achieved it already.
They haven't like done it all by the time that they're like 17 or something. But yeah, I mean, I was really discouraged, and like when I was 18, and I almost quit, just went to university. And I remember a week before I met my manager, my mom knew that I was really discouraged, and she was grocery shopping at the store. And in the middle of the store, she texted me and she's like, Molly, this is super random. I'm like shopping, but I just really feel like the Lord wants you to know that your help is on the way. And very, very shortly after that, I met with my manager. She told me that she didn't even want to manage artists. And then God put it on her heart to offer management to me. And I was so lost at the time. I was so confused. I didn't know what I was doing or what to do. And when I met her, I actually didn't even know that like sync licensing, like music placement for film and TV, I did not even know that was a world that existed. So it was like in that relationship with her that was unexpected in my mind, but God strategically put that together, and we've been able to not only walk together in business but in life. It's some of the most special opportunities have been things that weren't on my radar, weren't expected, but it was being flexible enough to say, okay, I'll pivot and move to whatever the direction,
whatever
and just
works.
see what's here.
Yeah.
So for young people, I do feel like if God's put a passion in your heart for creativity, to run with that, but just having open hands and a surrendered heart to see wherever he wants to actually take that and how he wants to develop that, that's in his hands. But there is space for creatives to be salt and light in very awesome, unique ways.
I love that. All right, to wrap it up, my favorite question that I get to ask you whenever I get to see you, what's the next Christian independent artist or artist that we need to be looking at or finding or playing right now?
Fabulous question. So I feel like I probably said this the last time, but I'm still on the Afro gospel kick. That is still a thing.
Yes.
So Marzu, Sally, Lima Blaze, they are all crushing it.
I might have asked you this time, have you got into I Am Rescued?
Yeah, I do like him too.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll eat it all up. Called Out Music, he's another one.
Yes.
But there's a gal that I recently discovered. I think her name is like Eminescent or something.
Yes.
And she's a Christian jazz artist.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like she went to Berkeley, super brilliant musician.
Yeah.
And vocalist.
Okay.
So that's super cool. Abe Parker's got a cool vibe.
Yeah.
I did a collaboration with Zach Paradise. I've written with him some too.
Okay.
And he's a great kind of pop R&B artist.
Yes.
And he loves God.
All right. Please, next time I see you, I want to see a SVRCINA playlist.
Oh.
All the artists that you recommend.
Yeah.
We need to get it out there.
You got it.
Bless you heaps. Time to go. Let's go. Again, we're right behind you here, SVRCINA. Thank you for your time.
Love you guys so much. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Sorry. Boy, I got long-winded.
Broadcasting from the Christian Media and Arts Connect Conference on the Gold Coast. Rise and shine on Vision.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.